Hey guys, welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. So this is Chandra, and today we have a brand new reading to do for Shannon this time. Shannon's got a pretty open question for us today. She says, "How is our future together looking like as a whole?" She's talking about her partner Nichole. She also goes on to say we're an LGBT couple. So fantastic. And so I'm just going to shuffle the cards here. A lot of times when people want to know like how their relationships are doing, it's because maybe they're hopeful and they really care about this person, or like they think that, oh wow, life can't really get any better than this, or finally I've gotten exactly what I wanted, and now I just would hate if anything happened to that. So, and then other times, sometimes when people are asking this type of question, like how's our future looking like as a whole, sometimes it's like, oh, uh, it's good, but I just don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of doubt, something like that. A lot of times, a good indication as far as like intuition goes, it's just kind of our own feeling about something. Like trusting that own inner instinct. But it's good to consult the cards. It's good to get a reading and get some clarity on things. So let's do that. Let's get some clarity. So we're going to just cut the deck here and just focusing on the question still. Sometimes I can get things that will just come up psychically within me as I start to just kind of hone in on the question and the querent, the people asking the question. Okay, so let's consult the cards. So like with before, like most of the readings I do, I like to look at the past, kind of get some clarity on that. I like to look at the present situation, the present moment that we're in now. And then I also like to look a little bit ahead into the future. Not too far into the future, but I like to calibrate out about, I'd say maybe about 3 months out or so. Is usually about where the calibration point is. Sometimes it goes to 4 or 5, but right now I'm right about 3 months. Um, and then depending on how heavy the energy is, like in the cards, for the future or the past, for that matter, I can get a sense of like how far back in the past something has occurred, or I can get kind of a sense, an inner sense of how far into the future we're looking like. And because I've done this for so long, I kind of become kind of calibrated to the process of time. I don't always get it right, but I do try and tell or share at least what I get. Then we'll look at the answer to the outcome that's to come, and then we'll look at the energy um, behind the current situation, what's going on now with you. That'll give us a lot of clarity, or gives me a lot of clarity anyway, in terms of into you and what you want, or kind of where your thinking is in that. And then we'll also look at kind of where your hope is, or maybe your fears lie, and just kind of move on from there. So the first card is the past. So in the past, we have the Queen of Wands. Okay, now queens know how to get what they want. And this queen is the queen of action. She knows how to get people to do things. Um, she's also very almost indirect in the way that she gets people to take action. It's a fairly good card. Moving on to the present situation. Okay. Wow. We've got the Six of Swords. Generally speaking, swords in the general sense are about conflict. They are mental. That's when we get in our heads a little bit. It's not so much about action. It's not so much about finances, not so much about our emotional state. It's more about just those thoughts, those ideas that get in our head, and they just kind of keep rambling. It's the monkey brain, I call it. And they can haunt us. They can drive us nuts. But in this particular case, this is a good card as far as the swords go. If you look on one side of the boat, you have rough water. If you look on the other side of the boat, you've got calm water. And which direction is the boat headed? Well, that's a good question. And it sometimes sort of depends. Sometimes we're just getting started, so the water may be kind of rough where we're at. But in other situations, it could be kind of calm as we're moving forward towards the calmer seas. But the good news is that we are kind of retreating. This is sort of like saying, okay, I've come from this place of defeat. I've been mentally turned upside down, and now I'm moving past it. So that's kind of where this is right now. Let's move on to the future. Like I said, about 3 months out, and we have the world. Okay, now, this is a very interesting card right here. The world is all about completing a cycle. So, wherever our thinking, our mindset, our actions, our way of doing things, relationships, the way that we handled relationships, all those kind of things, the way that we did things in the past, those things are coming to an end. And a new way of doing things, a new way of handling things is coming into the forefront so it's like another chapter opening. But we're still kind of like in this in-between phase. We're shifting from things that we've done in the past, actions and things that we've done to get to where we're at, and things that have been kind of a crutch for us. And now we're kind of like getting to the point where we don't need the crutch anymore, but we do kind of need it a little bit still here and there. If this metaphor makes sense, I hope it does. So that's kind of where we're looking at as far as the future goes. There's going to be a little bit of shakiness, like you would expect someone with a crutch to have. But that's just building your strength back. It's getting you to a better place. So that's where we're at with that. And our answer card is the Hierophant. This is really an interesting card for this position. I won't say much about it now. We'll get into it in a little bit more detail here in a few moments. But the Hierophant is usually about traditions. It also deals with one's religion or one's beliefs or one's background or one's culture. Hierophant's really great because the Hierophant kind of reminds us to, stay grounded or rooted in things that have brought us to our identity in life. So the Hierophant kind of roots us, gives us meaning. It's sort of like if everyone in our life disappeared, we would still have some commonality with other people, or we could still kind of move into a different group or something like that. And because of our past, because of our beliefs, our life path in the past, we would still have some kind of ability to connect with other people. And that's really what the Hierophant's all about. So let's go to the energy of the current situation, because, okay. So here is, most people call this the Nightmare card. Now, Shannon, the Nightmare card is, it's, I'm not even kidding you. I mean, you look at this. This is the present situation, and this is a Six of Swords. This is moving away from the past, moving away from things that have, brought us to our knees, so to speak. And now we are seeing more conflict, even more of this. So this is the energy. This is like our current state of mind. And the interesting thing about this card, of course, we haven't drawn any more cards as of yet to be able to really understand this in more detail, but this is a Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords is, you get to the nine and it's more about like endings and completions, and then there's another card, the 10 card, which is usually the card that's sort of in between your ending and in between your new beginning. But this ending card right here, this Nine of Swords, is sort of like we've had this nightmare, this thing going on in our mind, and it's just, having an effect on us. And the good news is with this particular card is it's not necessarily real. So like a lot of times, for example, if someone gets this card and it's about business, not a relationship, but business context, oftentimes if they get this, it's because it's unfounded fears that are plaguing them. And that's what this is really. It's like you're more fearful about something than not. So it's like unfounded fears. And that's what happens with this. You're moving away from conflict and things from your past. That's very evident. And you're doing that now. This is telling you that, a lot of the problems or things that you think might be there are not necessarily there. You may be reading too much into something, in fact. Let's now go to where you're at mentally. This is your hopes, your fears. This is sort of the attitude card around the current situation and what have you. Wow, we have the Ace of Cups. We are all over the map on this reading with you. This is like really an interesting reading. So the Ace of Cups is all about, well, what does it tell you? The cup overfloweth, right? We have the white dove. Usually it represents peace and Christian iconography in that. And of course we have the dove holding the little pinnacle cross, and we have water that's overflowing from the cup back into the water. And so this is the Ace of Cups. Now, aces are about new beginnings. And in this case, this is about new relationships. Cups represent relationships. So right now your attitude is that this is a new relationship. You're very peaceful with this relationship. Maybe this is something newer for you. Maybe you're not so much used to having so much peace in your life, or finding this person. And so it's life is treating you pretty good right now as far as the inner peace that you may be having and stuff. So that's sort of you're finding peace by getting away from past conflicts and things that have bothered you in the past. You're moving now and you're finding more peace in your life. And so a lot of the thinking and things that you've been having, experiencing and stuff, this energy surrounding the current place, is that, it's like you've waken up from a bad dream and realize, hey, I'm in control of my destiny and I deserve this. I have a new relationship, and that's great. Let's look at the outcome. Wow, fantastic. So we have the Two of Wands. Just take a moment to look at this card here. So the Two of Wands, so wands are about creativity, also about action. You've got this person, there's a wall in front of them, so it's like, and they're looking at the world, and it's like they could move into other new directions, but there's sort of this wall that's kind of like impeding them moving forward. You've got water, which represents the unconscious and emotion, but that's out into the purview. You've got flowers, and roses, and lilies. It's a pretty good card. And you notice that in this card there's the Two of Wands. Well, two's all about relationships. Two's about, it can be platonic, but most of the time it's romantic type relationships that we're normally dealing with. It also can be about partnerships in general. So it's almost as if you could have anything you wanted, but you're fairly satisfied. If you go into this new direction, you're by yourself. If you stay in this relationship and all. You've got a good partner. So the cards are really telling you, like with this too, that, you know, you're going to create this future for yourself, you know, and you're going to create it based on your thoughts, mental imagery, things of that nature. The Hierophant is really the key answer to getting what you want. So whether you want to move on past this relationship or you want to stay with this relationship, if this is something you truly want, the cards are saying that, you know, it's yours. The answer to being able to get it, though, sort of the key that unlocks the door, and there's a key right here on the Hierophant, by the way. The key that unlocks this door for you is traditions, things from the past, knowing who you are, staying true to your principles, to your values. Those are the kind of things that will really help you. Sometimes life can throw us curveballs. However, if we just understand that no matter how conflicted we are, if we can just hold on to our true self and be ourselves, the world is our oyster. The world is literally our oyster. You've got some really great cards, and I can really see here that you've been conflicted. You know, it's almost like it's almost as if you've been so conflicted that right now you've just kind of like made this escape. You've moved into this entirely new direction, and, you know, and this direction involves a relationship. And Nichole is that relationship, and that's represented in this Ace of Cups here. You know, you can go and do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. You can follow any path you want. That too is telling me that. But what you really want is what you've got. And as long as you hold on to your values, and as long as you stay true to yourself, true to each other, I see the relationship working out pretty good. Just remember that, again, over the next few months, there's going to be that fear of just the past. But right now you're moving past the things from your past relationships or your past situations, and you're moving forward. You're moving forward in a good direction, actually. Cup overfloweth. You got the world at your fingertips. You know, you just have to stay true to who you are. Stay true to your values, your principles, where you come from, your culture, religion, spirituality, that kind of thing. And you're gonna be really well off. Things are gonna go really well for you. You got some really good energy coming into your life, and I get an intuitive sense, like almost a psychic sense, that your partner is good for you, that you guys are good for each other, but she's really good for you. So the outcome is in your hands. You know, the world tells us you're moving away from that of the past. This is really your key right here, is this world. And it's saying that, you know, we could start this new chapter and, you know, do really well. And that's really what it's telling. Any kind of negativity, any thoughts that you have, they're baseless, really. I mean, right now they may seem real, like in your mind, but they're, you know, cards are saying not to worry, that everything's going to be okay. But yeah, I mean, calmer waters are in front of you, and good things are coming into play for you. All right, well, hey, it was great doing this reading for you. If you have any questions, concerns, as your tarot coach, I'm here for you. I want you to understand that. I try to really bring that point home. Like I say, reach out if you need anything. And also, anybody watching this YouTube video, if you happen to come across the channel, or maybe you've already subscribed, and you want to give some advice to Shannon here, or you've picked up something maybe intuitively or something like that, and you want to share that, please do. We welcome that here. And if you guys haven't already done so, of course, please like the video. That's always appreciated. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the bell notification, and you can get ongoing notifications every time we come live with a new video. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. You can always use some extra subscribers. It's always appreciated, and helps us keep going. With that being said, have a wonderful evening. And yeah, that's it. Have a wonderful day.